What's up, YouTube? It's been about 15 months since I put out a video, and I've got a few in mind that I want to make. This will probably be the longest one because I want to show you the puzzles I've been working on and what I've been up to for the past year. Just now I was playing with this. It's a Sudoku cube. I think it's version 3. I don't know if this one is going to be more or less difficult than the one with the numbers on it because the one with the numbers has orientation. I'm also curious if there's multiple solutions to this, because if there's only one solution, I'm never going to get it. So I start with one face, and I get each color unique on that face, and I check to see on the side if there's nothing here that matches the center, and that these pieces are unique and the center is unique. And then from there I drop in some edges and continue to make sure that everything's unique, and by then I have 2 layers of uniquely colored pieces. And then I move up and I get a cross, and I make sure that this is unique to these pieces right here, ignoring the corners. And that's about as far as I can get. Let me know in the comments if you've solved this. I can't figure out the corners. I'm afraid that I get a corner, get a couple corners, and then one doesn't work, and then I gotta go back and start changing everything up. So anyways, this is kind of frustrating. This is a pretty hard puzzle. Speaking of hard puzzles, one of the puzzles I solved recently that was really hard is this. And this is just a beast of a puzzle. It's the Radio 3 cube, and I got this from Chewy's Custom Stickers and Puzzles, and this is a very well made puzzle. I am impressed at how small and complicated it is, how many pieces it has, that it turns so well. And it does have these jumbling moves. Like, that's a jumbling move, but I don't think I did that when I solved it, because it makes it really hard, and this puzzle took me weeks. I was following the tutorial from Michael Regalo. I can't think of his name right now, but he makes amazing tutorials, amazing puzzles. This was just a beast, and it's similar to the Aton Star or the Bauhinia 2 puzzle. This is just a shape modification. And it was such a challenge. There's one phase of this puzzle where you solve certain pieces to check for parity. I got past that, and I must have made a mistake because I had parity and I had to go back. I even made some weird turns, and it set me back. So you have to have a lot of stamina for a puzzle like this. But this is probably one of my favorite puzzles now. Definitely one of the hardest puzzles I've ever solved. And since right now I'm talking about really hard puzzles that I've solved, probably another one that's equally hard that took me a long time was this. And this is the crazy Rhombo dodecahedron. Man, this thing was a challenge. Every face is a 0 face except for 3 faces that are 1 faces, and that's in my case, the pink, the white, and the orange. And what's so unique about this puzzle too is you can flip the centers over and alternate between 0 and 1 faces. You can make a variety of puzzles from this one puzzle. And I'm sure if Arline from the Twisty Puzzle Forum, who makes some of the best tutorials, were to create tutorials of the different variations of this, I would solve them. Similarly to the double circle cube, which the centers can be swapped to create different puzzles. This took me a long time. It was an amazing accomplishment to finish it. And yeah, so let's talk about some more puzzles I was working on recently. Here's another really hard puzzle. The Maltese gear cube. Similar to the, I want to say the mix-up gear cube. This one's just, it's harder. It's more complex. I followed a tutorial that was in Spanish actually, using the subtitles and translating them on YouTube. When I saw this on my shelf, I couldn't remember if I had solved it or not, but I did solve it. I'm pretty aware of the puzzles on my shelf I have yet to solve because it's only a couple of them. The octahedron fragmentation and a bandaged cube called the bin 5. This was fun though. A real challenge, man. Gear cubes are really hard. This is a crazy gear cube. I don't know what's crazy about it. Maybe it's like a super gear cube because of the orientation of the center. But this was a fun gear puzzle, and it was well made. I like the tiles in it. I should mention too that on this Radio 3 cube, I've not had any problem with any stickers coming off. So congratulations to Jason at Chewy's for creating this. I would buy more of these collector's puzzles, but I like there to be a tutorial so I can follow along and solve it. Alright, so this is the crazy unicorn cube, and similarly to the double circle and the crazy rhombo dodecahedron, you can swap the centers on this to make different variations. Right now I have the yellow, white and yellow faces are 0 faces, and everything else is a 1 face. I don't remember what planet this is, but I remember it being one of the more challenging ones, and I left it. Really appreciate the puzzles that can do that. You know, you don't even need 2 opposite puzzles like in the planet series to do that. And so this is really fun. I highly recommend this. I highly recommend you follow the Twisty Puzzles tutorials for this. Oh man, I'm losing it right now with the camera. All right. Master mix-up cubes. We got a 2 and we got a 4, and these were really fun. I don't think I'm gonna go crazy and collect the whole series. I have a couple more. These are really challenging. They're not too difficult, but it takes an advanced solver to be able to solve these. And these are really fun. I like that they're stickerless. They turn pretty well, and they're fun puzzles, and so I solved those recently. Let's see, what else do I got here? Okay, so here's a couple of hard puzzles that I solved. This is called the Jumble Prism. Surprisingly difficult. For such a small puzzle, this puzzle gives me such a headache. I don't have a lot of fun with these types of puzzles because it's all jumbling, and returning it to shape is really hard. And then if you do return it to shape, you have to follow along with a set of instructions to the letter, and it can be really difficult. I think what gives me trouble with these puzzles is the notation. Some of the degrees at which you make a turn, and what's the left, right, upper, lower faces is confusing. So this was a really challenging puzzle. Gosh, what's this one called? More MF8's More Madness? A dipyramid? Oh, this was another example of a hard puzzle that was tough for me to follow. You know, sometimes we get good tutorial videos, and other times we're looking at written instructions, and it can be challenging to solve. So I'm glad to have these in my collection though. I highly recommend the puppet cubes. Definitely a challenging puzzle. Wow. I was just shocked at the complexity of this. What a terrific piece to add to your collection. I was able to solve it. It took a lot of work. I remember that. It took a lot of work. The edge turning octahedron. Man, this is a cool puzzle. I really like that some of these 3D printed puzzles eventually get mass produced into something like this, and it turns really well. As you can see, it jumbles. This was challenging for me. I think I had an easy time solving it the first time, and the second time I tried to solve it, it took me a long time to get it back to shape, and that was really tough. Diane Gem 10. This was a fun puzzle. I like that it's an edge turning puzzle, which also jumbles. Actually, I think so, right? Right? Does it jumble? How do you jumble it? Maybe not with that. Yeah, it does jumble. So the edges turn, and also these square faces turn too. And that was a fun puzzle. This is a crazy 4x4. Shengshao or Sangso made this, and there's different varieties. These even layered crazy puzzles present a very unique challenge. I don't quite grasp the concepts of these puzzles. Basically, how the centers are fixed. See, for example, if I turn these two layers, this center stays fixed down here. If I turn, yeah. So, anyways, there's different variations of this. There's crazy 2x2 versions. I'm not going to get any more. I am looking forward to a circular puzzle coming up, and I will make a video on that. Actually, two circular puzzles that recently came out. And finally, what I'm really excited about are these. Whoa. Okay, so I love the Crazy Planet cubes. And this is the B4 bandage. And I'm looking forward to getting a set of stickers. And I will show you what they look like when I sticker them. I have the Jupiter B4 bandage cube, and what Jupiter means is that there's only one face that's a 0. Every other face is a 1 face. And so if you have something like Jupiter and Mercury, these are opposite puzzles. The Mercury has only... Wait, I got that wrong. Did I? Yeah, no, I'm right. Okay, so these are opposite puzzles because every face except for one of these faces is a 0 face. On the Jupiter puzzle, every face is a 1 face except for one 0 face. Now, this isn't a normal Mercury puzzle anymore because what I've done is I've turned it into a 2-face cube. As you can see, I super glued and then filled in the circle on this face with epoxy sculpt and then sanded it down. And so this is what's called a 2-face now. So this is a 0 face, and then before it was a 1 face, but now it's a 2 face. And so that's really cool. And if you have a Jupiter cube and a Mercury cube, you could create one of these faces, and you can just use super glue. Take the stickers off, leave them on, and you can have the puzzle, and you can exchange the centers of these two puzzles and create the whole set of 2-face cubes. I'll be interested to see if there's any more of these bandaging puzzles that I could solve if somebody makes a tutorial. So I had these like on my shelf. I was actually gonna do something with them. And I was messaging Arline in the Twisty Puzzle on his YouTube channel, and he reminded me that I could just use super glue and epoxy sculpt, and I can't believe I didn't think of that because like that's what I love to do. So I created two 2-face cubes, the Mercury and Saturn, and I took this Venus cube and I made two 2-faces on it so that it would now be a 4-circle cube. where these are all 0 faces, and then we have these 2 face cubes. So anytime that, and I'm going to put stickers on these, anytime you have one of these bandaged pieces on one of these 0 faces, it will not turn. So anyways, that's really cool. That's what I've been up to. I'm excited to bring you a few more videos after this.